So the first question I have for you is how did you become interested in working in animation?
So, um, I wasn't sure about animation until high school, but in elementary school, I had seen my uncle who had wanted to pursue art as a career, and he went to college for graphic design, and then I'm like, oh, you can do art as a job. Like my mind was being opened, right? So then I didn't really pursue that further because I'm a kid. I'm just living my life. Middle school, I liked art, liked drawing. Um, and then near the end of middle school, when you're starting to think about like what are you gonna do, right? I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do art, like because of the starving artist like mindset, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself in that position, right? I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was like, no, let's put art to the side, right? But and that continued into like my early high school, and then in I still loved animation though. Like I loved watching it. I loved anime. I loved cartoons. I thought it was amazing. But I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do that, right? In junior year, I signed up. They had a class at my high school for animation. I was like, I'm gonna just do it for fun as an elective, right? Nothing's gonna happen, right? It's just be fun times. And then I started doing it. And I was like, oh no, oh no, here we go. This is it. This is what I want to do. So that's how I set on animation as my career going forward. Then I just kept doing like art, like animation stuff in class, and took another semester of it. And then, yeah, that's how I chose animation.
That's an interesting story. It reminds me of some other people. There's always it's the one class you don't think will impact you that ends up like just setting you off on your career journey. And so for you, during your time as an ATEC student at UT Dallas, how did that time help you out pursuing your goal of working in animation?
I think it helped me lay like a great groundwork for my career in animation. Like the 12 principles of animation, they don't change no matter where you go. So um making sure that you take full advantage of like your classes, your critiques, everything. I know some people like they don't like critique, right? They get scared. They're like, this is so personal to me. It's like you have to detach yourself from your work a little bit. Yes, it's attached to you, but like when people I was rare in that I loved critique because it always taught me how to make it better, right? So I was always seeking more critique. I don't know if they still do this, but Sean McCover and Phil Hall, they would do extra critiques on different days outside of class. I would always go to those so I could just keep more, so I could just keep, continuing in my craft, right? So yeah, I feel like it definitely laid me a great groundwork to build my talents off of further. I mean, you can't, I feel like it's hard to like, you're obviously not going to learn everything that you can learn in college. Like, so great groundwork, and then you just keep continuing to grow from there.
I like that you mentioned not being scared of being critiqued because I'm in the same situation right now. It's where I embrace being critiqued in a odd way because it ultimately it makes me better, it makes all of us better. And it's just like it's like the first time you get critiqued, there's a little bit of nervousness, but then after that's just like, okay, like I'm used to it at this point.
Mhm.
And so for you, since the time that you graduated, what has your career journey been like?
It was a little rough right when I graduated. I spent basically like a year looking for a job almost. Uh, yeah, I just kept applying to places, and they wouldn't get back to me, or they get back to me really late. I was like, oh man, this is really hard, right? And then I was like, I can't keep relying. Obviously, I was working on other projects right after I graduated because I'm like, I still have to build my portfolio, but I was feeling like that wasn't enough. So I started taking other animation classes and stuff like that to keep going, right? Um, and so I spent that year like working on my demo, taking classes near the end of it, and then I was like, I can't keep doing this to myself. So I decided to take a break. I was like, I'm going to step back from applying to places. I'm going to find another job. I got another job somewhere, not doing animation work. And then I was there for like, I think about 2 weeks. And then I got an email from 2 places, and I started talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we like your stuff. Can you talk to us?" And so, yeah, that was my lucky break, and I managed to get a job right when I stopped looking. Right, it's crazy how it happens sometimes. I was like, "I'm gonna take a break. I'll work for a little bit, save up some money, and then I'll get back to applying to places again." And right when I took that break, they're like, "Here you go. Let's go right now." So that was a
Well,
little bit of my career journey.
well, congratulations on finding a job, being persistent with that. And I can get an idea of what you're going to say for this last question, but based on all the experiences you've had, what advice would you share with college students?
I would share, get as much feedback as you can. Um, know that what you learn in college, you're not going to be like, some people think they're like the big shots right when they finish college. They're like, I am the best. I'm going to make it real quick. It doesn't work like that all the time. Like you still have to keep learning. You still have to keep growing. Work on projects outside of school, work on projects inside of school. Like you shouldn't just use your student work on your demo. If that's all you have, then that's okay. But like, it's great to have other stuff too to fill out your demo. Um, Also, make sure that you take care of yourself. Like, don't run yourself ragged. I know I worked some late nights and I would wake up regretting it. So just try to be kind to yourself. Um, you can't complete projects in one day. Give yourself time to finish things. Yeah. Um, Rely on your peers. Help them too when you can. Stuff like that.
And those words resonate with me, especially taking care of yourself, because as someone who got 4 hours of sleep last night working on a project, hey, I do. Hey, I'm the first one that has to take your advice on that. And I think what also like other things you said will definitely help people too, especially I love the part where you said just being basically being humble, and that it's the long journey and you're competing with the entire world in this field. And so you have to just take the steps and just learn like, okay, like just be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Compete with the world, but don't, not to a detrimental amount, right?
Mm.
Everyone's on different paths, right? So work with each other, basically, I would say. Don't try to be the best of the best. Like, try to be the best for yourself, not to beat others, you know?
Most definitely.